Right? Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hey, Sam, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. My name is Ricardo and I am part of Blizz. We are a Mexican digital magazine, and
Mhm.
I'm super excited to be here with you. How are you doing?
Yeah. Nice to meet you, man. I'm good. Yeah. Really excited. Just it's the morning after we did our Melbourne launch of the record last night.
All right.
So yeah, it's a great night. Just kind of we played like a couple of songs from the record, had some of our favorite DJs, and hung out with fans and just had a really good time just listening to music. It was such a good vibe.
Amazing. Sounds amazing. Sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a real experience, feeling of
Yes.
joy.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Hey, Sam, I've been listening to the album a lot of
Yes.
these past few days, and what really stood out to me is maybe just my perception, but the from an emotional point of view, sounds like
Yes.
open, human, but at the same
Yes.
time feels energetic, euphoric. So
Yes.
the first question that I have for you is regarding the album. So
Yeah.
experiencing feeling of joy feels personal, emotional, honest, but at what point did you realize these albums need to come from such a vulnerable place?
Well, I realized it before. I had an interesting experience writing this record. I tried writing for years, and I came out of a really big breakup. So and I was heartbroken, right? And if I wasn't writing music about my heartbreak, the music didn't feel good. It didn't feel real. I didn't like it. But it took me a while to kind of process everything, process how I was feeling, and kind of face my sadness, I guess. So when I finally opened up and processed these things, that's when the album happened. So it was essentially like this journey where I was fighting against myself of how honest I wanted to be.
Mm,
And the only way through, the only solution was to just be open, honest, no shame, be myself. So it was a really good learning lesson. Like this new thing I like to say is the only way out is in. So the only way to get through it is to go inward and face your fears and express yourself, because that's the for me with the record, it's the only way to finish it. It was the only way to get through.
that love it, love the answer. And Sam, one of the most interesting things about the album for me is the contrast between, like I said a moment ago, euphoric,
Yeah,
danceable production and deeply
yeah,
emotional lyrics. Why was it
yes.
important to keep both worlds coexisting together?
I just naturally do that. Like I love I've always loved like a Bon Iver or like really sad kind of folk style music, but I like with my music I really love instrumental music. So I love to dance. I really love experiments with sounds. So naturally, my favorite place is to have like a infectious happy beat but with sad lyrics, or like just a lot of emotion in it. And for me, that's the perfect balance, because first listen, maybe you just hear the beat and you like it. Second listen, you start to hear the lyrics. And third listen, you really start to connect with the story. So for me,
Yeah,
it always has a fresh angle. You can pick what you want to pay attention to. And yes, for me, it just keeps it exciting. Yeah. I also
amazing.
love to dance. Like I love to dance.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's great. And Sam, sonically, the album feels more expansive and ambitious, especially with the light strings and acid jazz influences. What kind of
yes.
artists, records, or anything inspired this chapter from a creative point of view?
It was actually an interesting journey, because I had periods of listening to lots of music, and then I had periods of listening to no music. So really, it was a big mix. But I would say when I kind of finally finished the record, I was listening to a lot of instrumental atmospheric music, which it was just quite strange if you really listen to it. But I really love strings, so I would go for like classical sounds. None of it had singing in it. Like that, like what I was listening to was all instrumental. So I guess sound wise, I was really into trumpets and strings, and those made it onto the record. And then in terms of like vocals, I wasn't listening to anything with vocals, because I think I needed to leave that space for, I guess, these themes I was working with. Yeah. So it was interesting. Like you would never pick that I was just listening to atmospheric and classical, but that's all I had going. Yeah.
That's great. And Sam, maybe this is an obvious question, but I would like to know if did this album change the way you see yourself creatively or personally moving forward?
Definitely. Yeah. So I feel like I grew a lot as an artist with this because I feel like making like a fun beat, that's one thing, but also being able to fully express yourself with no shame and just be yourself and put it into the music. That was a really that was challenging for me all these years. And I feel like I finally just crossed over where I feel like that's possible now. And I think part of it is just self-acceptance. It could be a multitude of things, but now when I think about the future, this is part of me now. Like I always want to say how I feel, put it into the music and really express myself clearly without metaphor, just be real. And I feel like now that I've done this record, it feels just part of how I make music. So it's really changed my whole approach.
Love it, love it. That's amazing, Sam. And from a
Thank
production
you.
standpoint, what was the biggest creative risk you took on this album?
Oh, it's a good question. Well, I will say, I'm not sure if it was a risk, but there was like a little bit of obsession that I had. So you might notice there's a lot of unison in the record. So when it chords hit, the bass hits just in unison. So it's not a busy bass line. It's everything hits together. So I really like that because it left space for the vocals. So for me, it was great because I could sing, but then it meant the lyrics had to be great. The lyrics had to be really clear and great. So it was perfect. I liked that space. But then the only way for the space to make sense is to nail the vocal. So I liked that
Mm,
balance. Yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm.
That's interesting. Definitely, I need to listen the album again with that idea on mind.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah,
thank
great.
you. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
And a couple of questions about Mexico and Latin America. I know you already play
Yeah.
important shows in Mexico, like
Uh-huh.
Corona Capital and Lunario. Are there any
Yeah.
specific memories from those performances that still stay with you guys?
Oh, sweet. Some of our favorite times ever. So I remember at Corona Capital, we had a really lovely time because we have really passionate fans in Mexico. And we realized at Corona Capital, we didn't know there was such a massive crowd. We were blown away and we really wanted to meet everybody. So when we finished the set, I was like, hey, we're going to go over to like the Ferris wheel if anyone wants to come say hi. And so we just went over to the Ferris wheel and like hundreds of people just came and we hung out and it was wild. Like the security at the Ferris wheel were like, what's going on? What are you guys doing here? And it was just so cool, shaking hands with everybody. It's a really beautiful thing. Like I feel like our Mexican fans are lovely and really expressive and passionate. And that was like a really new experience for us, just setting up a meeting place and just meeting everybody. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. And Sam, right now I know the experience and feelings of Joy Tour is confirmed through Australia and New Zealand until July.
Yes.
A lot of fans in Latin America are already wondering if this new era could eventually reach this side of the world. Are there any plans
Yes.
of that?
Yes, we're really happy to say. So we're just about to announce it, but we'll be coming back to Mexico City at the end of October. So we're, we're
Amazing.
we're really excited. Really excited. We've got the whole new show. We've really changed a couple of things about the show. We've made it a bit more expansive and dramatic. That's the key word. It's dramatic now. So we can't wait to get back. And it's been a while. We just can't wait to experience the joy with our fans in Mexico.
I love it. Can't wait for that. And Sam, the last
Oh
question that
yeah,
I have for you is finally, after everything that inspired this record emotionally and creatively, what do you
yeah.
hope people feel once they experiencing feelings of joy from beginning to end?
Yeah, I feel like I hope it just gives them a place to feel like however they feel. It's great to share it. It just whoever you are, however you feel, it's just really important to share it and not change the narrative. Don't worry about the fear. You're fine. Just say how you are. So this album is my journey accepting myself. So I really hope it gives people a little bit of that feeling.
No, a great, amazing, amazing. Sam, thank you again so much for your time and for sharing this space
Thank
with
you.
me. Congratulations
Of
on the release of
course.
the album and can't wait to see you back in
Thank
Mexico.
you. Thank you. See you in October. Thank you, man.